Two teens, two deaths in 1 month. It was the emotional tipping point for a small-town police chief and a grieving father. Now they're men on a mission, one that could save your teen's life. Here's Channel 8's Gary Reeves.
There's only two ways to get to my house.
When Phil Johnson leaves his home in Pottsboro, he never turns right. That would take him past the intersection.
The original point of impact is going to be right here,
Where his 16-year-old daughter Shelby was killed.
At 5 minutes before 8 that morning, she came into my office and she said, "Bye, Daddy, I love you." It's probably the last word she said to anybody.
On the way to school, May 15th, 2007,
and you can still see the skid marks there where it pushed it on down.
she was broadsided by a dump truck.
And she pulled out directly in front of the truck, causing impact.
Police Chief Brett Atterburn had to break the news to her father that the girl who used to babysit his kids was dead.
Just so sad, just devastating when it all became true that it was Shelby.
Now, Johnson's route to town takes him past the cemetery where Shelby is buried. And a few rows away, an almost matching tombstone and an eerily matching tragedy. 17-year-old Jordan Onstadt, killed in a car wreck exactly 1 month later.
He came around the corner and misjudged the curve there.
It happened on this country road with a 16-year-old boy at the wheel. He'd had his license just 4 months.
You get over on the gravel, which slid the passenger door into the tree, and you can still see the obvious evidence of the damage to the tree.
Again, Chief Atterburn delivered the news, this time to his next-door neighbor.
Most officers do it once in their career at most, and we had to do it twice in a month. So it was horrible.
This town of 2,400 with fewer than 400 high school students lost 2 in a month.
That got us trying to figure out what we were doing wrong.
So they held town meetings and decided the problem was poorly trained teenage drivers.
Now serving 7-9 at counter number 14.
And they blamed changes in the way Texas issues teens' licenses.
In '94, you took a driver's education course, whether it be public school taught, commercial taught, and then you took a driving on-the-road skills test at the DPS office.
But not anymore. Now the driving part of the test is optional, and parents are allowed to buy or print out a curriculum and teach driver's ed themselves.
The curriculum that you would print off the state website's about yay tall. You laid it on the desk.
Chief Atterburn fears some beleaguered parents either can't or won't do it right, but they'll tell the state they did.
It is conceivable that a 16-year-old could obtain a Texas driver's license having never put a key in the ignition.
I haven't taken that off in over a year.
So together, Atterburn and Johnson started Less Tears, More Years. They've got wristbands, a website, and a bill pending in the legislature to toughen the requirements for teenagers to get driver's licenses.
We as citizens and as parents really ought to be doing something to stop losing our teens on Texas roadways.
They want driver's ed taught in all public schools, including 30 hours of driving, up from the current 7, and a behind-the-wheel driving skills test. For Texas teens, they call it a matter of life and death.
Since March 2003, we lost 4,250 lives in the war in Iraq. In that same time, in Texas, we lost about 4,500 teenagers.
It's terrible. You have to go through those tragedies to spur on this campaign. But if we can help and save some lives there, then Shelby's and Jordan's tragedies are not for nothing.
Currently, the bill is pending before committee. Gary Reeves, Channel 8 News.